Greetings. Welcome to Friday evening. Um, and it's a little bit of a wet Friday evening here in Murphy, North Carolina. We had a little bit of rain, but it was nice. But I'm glad it slowed down a bit because when I'm out here in the she shed, shedding some light on some self-care routines, if the rain is falling, it is absolutely impossible to talk because we have a metal roof up there. Hey, Carrie, it's good to see you on here. I wonder if you guys been having some rain lately. We got some good rain today. So welcome everybody. I'm glad to see you on here. Facebook doesn't always tell me who's on here. So if you're on here, just say hello. You can tell me where you're coming in from, or you can tell me what kind of a beverage you have, so that we can kind of touch base. I see Joan and I see Carrie, and Carrie says she needs rain. Yeah, we needed some rain too for our garden. We were gone, as some of you may know, for a little bit of an extended vacation, and we ended up being away for longer than we thought. So when we got back, some of our outdoor plants in our garden were needing a little bit of love. They just didn't quite get enough water while we were gone. Even though we had the timer set up, you kind of hope that nature will help you out a bit. And so we are trying to clean up that mess. But anyway, I'm Cindy Brockway, and for those of you who do not know me, I am the moderator of this group, Essentials for Peace and Balance, and I have been for quite some time doing what I call a 5-minute Friday, which is pretty much like a Q&A session, and I'll ask questions during the week, and then I'll get on here for just a few minutes on Friday evenings, and talk about some mindful, meaningful, sustainable, like 5-minute action steps for enhancing your life. And that's really all it takes, believe it or not, is just a series of consistent action steps, baby steps, to enhance your life. And on the flip side, it only takes an absence of some of those simple steps and routines to turn things on their head, to put you in a downward spiral. And I speak from experience. And I'd say this last couple weeks, with everything we had going on, with my mom, with the heat in Florida, when we went down there, we really thought it was going to be relaxing. It was so hot, and our camper was not keeping up. We were literally miserable. And even when we were out on the beach, it was miserable. So, sometimes when your circumstances don't really cooperate, you can quickly go from the high level of expectation and excitement to a pretty low place. And I experienced a bit of that while I was gone. And I told my mom, I kind of wallowed in it for a few days. And then I decided, you know what? It's not worth it. I need to get back into the swing of things and use those tools that I have that I know are going to help me be able to rebound quicker, to get back on track. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you tonight. One of the easiest strategies, I say easy, it's not necessarily easy unless you find a routine that is just what you need. You can try a lot of different things, and they may not resonate with you, and they may not help you to get to where you want to be, internally. And externally, I suppose, too. But right now, we're talking about some internal house cleaning. And in order to do some of that internal house cleaning, you need to set up a few ground rules. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today, is just putting in place what I'm calling a recharge routine. It could be a morning routine, an evening routine, but it's some sort of a recharge routine that is going to change your world. And by that, I mean the world around you. I mean, I found out for myself that when I am in a space of calm, reflection, control, so to speak, the world around me looks brighter. Regardless of what's going on, if I'm feeling it in here, it appears to me that the world looks brighter. And I think that's true with a lot of people. So this past week, when I found my emotions were kind of tanking, and I was facing some chronic stress, my mom was facing a lot of stress, Ken was in on it, even the dogs and cats were in on it, then that brings on a lot. And when we had Wendy talking in here, and even Tina touched on it, you know, chronic stress can cause a lot of problems. It can bring on anxiety, depression, pain, hopelessness, restlessness, and even a sense of who cares, or I can't do it anymore. So I determined, before I even got back to North Carolina, in the midst of all of that stuff, that I needed to get my recharge routines back on track. And so here's some of my tried and true recharge routines, and I'd love to get your take on what some of your recharge routines are like. You know, what is something that is sure to get you out of that funk, whatever it might be. Now, I've really learned the value of deep breathing and aromatherapy. For me, that's been a game changer for the last 5 years. I was not an essential oil, natural wellness girl 5 years ago. I wasn't. Now, I did use a lot of candles. I liked candles, and I still do like the flame. But compared to an essential oil and the difference it makes when you are diffusing it, a candle can't even hold a candle to it, so to speak. So it's much better, and there's some really great diffusers out there. I posted earlier in the group, earlier in the week, that there's at least 4 kinds of diffusers that you can use to enjoy pure natural essential oils. And not too many people have branched out and answered that question. So I'm not going to tell you what they are yet. I'm going to let you do a little bit more research on your own. But there are some beautiful, beautiful diffusers that you can put in your home. And that's going to get me to my next, one of my key elements of my routine, of my recharge routine, is the 5 senses. And when you think about the 5 senses, you think about vision and having some pretty things around you. When you're down and out, it's those pretty things that kind of say, all right, I guess it's not all that bad. Like, look at this pen I have for when I'm journaling. It's got a gigantic crystal on the end. Now, how can you write in your journal and not have your spirits lifted a little bit if you're using a fancy pen? I know a number of years ago, I had one that vibrated. It was a lot of fun. I took it to school, and the kids used it and used it and used it until I didn't have a vibrating pen anymore. to use in my journal. And so there's lots of ways that you can use your eyes in your recharge routine. Get yourself a beautiful pair of reading glasses. If you're like me and you have to wear glasses, get yourself a really pretty pair. These I made for a special occasion. But reading glasses are not really that expensive. So you can get some, spiff them up, make yourself feel a little special when you're getting ready to do some of your little recharge routines, okay? You can talk about journaling, using a beautiful journal. Another way is for your ears is using guided meditations. I have really enjoyed the value that I get from guided meditations. And there's a few venues that I use. One of them is, of course, the coaching program that I use when I coach clients. And it uses music. Music and affirmations, and it's healing music and affirmations, and it makes for some amazing meditation. And the reason is that music is clinically proven to help you learn more and retain it longer. So when you're listening to these affirmations or these meditations and you hear the music behind it, you can really commit it to memory, Velcro it in there, get it to where when something goes wrong, you automatically think of that musical affirmation that you have been reciting or listening to for weeks and weeks. And the way my coaching program is set up is you go through the 7 days of the week, and it walks you through the guided meditations, a different one each day. So when you're on Sunday, you know that that's the one that you're going to experience and enjoy. And then every Sunday, it's the same meditation. And then you go all the way through the week, and every week you have a different one every day. And so as you do this consistently, as you recharge on a daily basis and take daily renewal to heart, eventually, no matter where you're at, it doesn't have to be in your she shed or in your prayer closet or in that nice cozy corner of your house or out on the deck. You have those meditations swirling around in there, okay? And then another one is taste. Now, how is it that you can involve taste in your recharge routine? Well, one of the easiest ways is by using a cup of hot water and a drop of pure essential oil. They are not only delicious in scent and in flavor. This one is warm lemon oil in water. And I got this idea from Wendy Boyce. She's in this group. She's actually the grandparent of one of my students I had a number of years ago. And she's the one that told me about it in hot water. And I thought, I've never heard of that, especially at night when I don't want to drink any tea that has caffeine in it. Putting either lemon or tangerine or clementine or lime hot water, it's very relaxing and soothing. So that's a way that you can get your taste involved in your routines. Now, if you're ready to pursue a simple routine, if you haven't done so already, be prepared to have your life changed in a good way. There's so many things going on in the world right now. There's so many aspects about our state of affairs that unless you focus on yourself and your own happiness and your own inner peace and sorting out how you feel about your area of focus or concern, things that you can control, you can get pretty overwhelmed. You can get, your anxiety can flare up, depression can set in. There's a lot of things that if you get focused on the things outside, that's going on around you, that can really tear you down. Even things that are going on with people that mean a lot to you. People who are so close to you, people who you're either caring for, people who are, relatives that are struggling, it can weigh down. It can be very heavy. And that's why you need to come up with a recharge routine so that you can be the best you for yourself and then for those around you. You can't do what I call waller in it. And I don't know if you are familiar with what it means or how it feels to waller in what's going on, but it's not a pretty place to be at all. Hi, Linda. I'm glad to see you on here. And I guess Linda's probably been working in her garden. All right, so I wanted to just share a few more ideas about this recharge routine and how you can involve the 5 senses, because the more senses you involve, the more meaning it's going to have, and the more powerful or potent the routine is going to be. Because our body is made to view this world in Technicolor. And so why not do the same with your own wellness recharge routine? So we talked about taste, maybe a hot beverage, some lemon water, maybe it's a cold beverage, and you're going to put in a sprig of mint or something, but do something special with your beverage so that it's something different and unique every time you sit down to do this inner work, okay? And then, of course, when you're talking about your nose, it can be the sense of smell. You can use oils. You can use your diffuser. You can cup essential oils like earlier today, I was using, what did I do with it? I was looking for it in here. I don't see it. I can't find it. My eucalyptus. So let's just do the lime. Get out some lime. Lime's a good one to use in the morning because it perks you up. Lavender. My mom and I actually were using lavender today when we did our morning devotional time together and meditation. And we were breathing in, breathing out, listening to the guided devotional meditation time with our lavender. So we were incorporating that smell, that sense of fragrance. And even if you have flowers from outdoors, flowers that you like to purchase, I know some people support themselves with a beautiful flower of the month club, and that might be something you consider doing for yourself. All right, and now let's think about touch, movement, hands-on things. These are great things. Think about when you're doing your quiet time, when you're doing your intentional movement, when you're doing these recharge routines, these little tiny steps of things that you do just for yourself, think of a way to incorporate touch. And I've talked about this before. One way I don't use very often, but it is very effective, is dry brushing. And I'd be curious to hear from any of you if you dry brush on a regular basis. And I'm not going to go into detail on it, but it's pretty good. I enjoy it. I usually will rub a little bit of essential oil on the bristles and then do the dry brushing. It's stimulating. It's good for your skin. It helps your lymph nodes to drain. So not only are you like recharging your brain and your emotions, but you're recharging your body at the same time. And isn't that what holistic wellness is about? You know, natural solutions for our everyday problems. And then, of course, we talked about having something really pretty, exciting, unique, a special mug, whatever it is, something that you use that's just for that time when you're wanting to recharge and regroup. And then the last one we'll remind ourselves is this sense of hearing, using healing music. YouTube is phenomenal for us to be able to find what floats our boat as far as genres for music and for relaxation and for spiritual enlightening and things. So I would love to invite you to share with me some of your tried and true activities, some of your recharge routines that really work. And at the same time, like I said earlier, there's times when we just don't know where to go, what direction to take, how to move forward. And I'm here to help you with that as well. I'd love to be able to help get you to that next step, to help you set up some sort of a recharge routine where you will, on a regular basis, not just when you're so down and out that you can't take it another day. I mean, a lot of times that's the way we get. We say, all right, that's it. I can't take it anymore. And I know, because I do that sometimes. But it's so much more comfortable to be proactive and to try to keep yourself in a routine on the daily that can help you be prepared for when things turn sour. So thank you everybody for being on here. And so that's my 5-minute tip. And I would tell you that any of those things that we just talked about for recharging yourself on a regular basis would take 5 minutes or less. So get a piece of paper and write down 5 things. 5 things, one for each sense. Okay? So taste, smell, touch, sight, and sound. And write down one of each of those things that you are going to do tomorrow or this evening if you're the kind of person that likes to do a little recharge, regroup, reset before you go to bed. Or if you're the person that wants to get up bright-eyed in the morning. In fact, that reminds me, this morning when my mom and I were talking about and doing our devotions this morning, we talked about the release that comes when you're dreading something that's been on your plate and you're dreading it and you're frustrated and everything, and it finally gets taken off your plate. Either it gets canceled if it's an event or something that you really weren't looking forward to, or if it's a task that you finally got it done. Think about that feeling in your body. I mean, it's major release. So if you could get into a habit of letting go and releasing on a regular basis, in the morning or at night, just think about what each morning would be like. Right now, what is your morning like when you get up? Are you dreading it? Are you going in a million different directions? Or do you feel like you finally have the tools that you need to be able to move forward joyfully? And that's really what this group is about, Essentials for Peace and Balance. And I talk about complementary therapies of a variety of kinds. Complementary therapies for the mind, the soul, and the body. And it's a holistic approach to your overall wellness. So thank you guys for listening. And I see Linda's on here, and she's so glad that she has some time to listen. And I am too. I know that Linda has been a caregiver for a number of years for her parents. And they recently went into a care facility, and because they needed a little bit of extra medical care. And so I'm glad to see you on here, Linda. I know it was a tough decision to make, but, you know, God has a way of directing us and letting us know when the time is right. And she says she's smelling pumpkin pies right now. Woohoo! She's using that sense of smell. The only thing I really smell right now is this delicious warm lemon water. So I want you all to remember that action step, and then I'll let you go. I've kind of what do you call it? Rattled on a little bit. I get that from my dad. Think of those 5 things and share it with us. And you know what would be even more exciting and fun is if you would write those things down, those 5 things down, and then go live in the group and read your list to us. And pretend like you're in drama club and you're putting a little bit of pizzazz or attitude to it, and let us know what are our 5 senses that you could incorporate into a wellness recharge routine. All right, everybody, thanks for being on here. And actually, speaking of water, I'm going to be starting a hydration challenge. And so if that's something you're interested in, drop an emoji or a GIF to let me know that that's something you're interested in. I think our last one was back in March. Let's see. Yeah, probably in March. And so I decided that it's time for another one. So we're going to do that. And if you're with me, let me know. Thanks a lot, everybody. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.